Hello and welcome to the OC Uni Club's Summer Rumble. We have a Division 4 match between BDB and SN today. So BDB today is Backdoor Boys and SN is Salty Ninjas. You're joined today with myself, Eric Lee, and
Hello, I am Aj, also known as Dylan Wallace, and yes, I am very excited for this matchup coming up here.
yeah, so we're in Champion Select right now. What do you think of the band so far?
So far there's been a lot of focus coming out for the bot lane from the Backdoor Boys, banning out the Tristan and the Alistair, two very good picks in the meta at the moment, as well as the Nasus, who can be an absolute terror in the late game.
So do you think any of these bands are targeted at all, or are these just standard bands you see in this ELO?
I feel as if these are just general bans, rather making sure that they've got some safety nets set out. So they can fall back on a reliable team comp without having to worry about these unnecessary champions. I do know that Volkshians is a very avid Leona player, and Alistair goes quite well into that.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. So we have a Lux pickup from the side of SN. Not sure where that's going so far. Could be either flexed in mid or support. Any thoughts as to where we're going to see that now?
It's more than likely, I'd say, going to be a Lux in the mid lane, as she can be quite a good threat, especially in the terms of there's been a lot of squishy assassins lately that have a lot of range. Zoe is a very good example. Lux can offer that. I feel like it would be unnecessary or not the wisest decision to take that into the bot lane, as she is rather limited in her support capabilities. She is more of a damage dealer.
Yeah, definitely. Also, knowing the Leona pick, you do not want to pick a Lux into a Leona. You're just going to get EQ'd and altered, and it's downtown from there.
We also have the Kindred and the Orianna coming out now for the Backdoor Boys. Looking like they're going to have a rather sustained team fight.
Yeah, it's looking like a very interesting comp. I'm expecting some really good follow-ups with the Leona and Orianna, and Kindred always there to back her team up with her ultimate if need be. His or her. It's a bit of a mixed champion, so how do we go about that?
Well, I'm not too sure, but if we look back up at the banning for the Salty Ninjas, we can see Warwick being banned out, as well as the Malzahar. Malzahar can be a very key matchup in the mid lane, especially if it's up against a less mobile champion, such as the Lux.
Yeah, definitely. So we're getting some bans right now, Jin and Blitzcrank, coming out from each team respectively. Who do you think they should ban for the fifth pick? Side of SN. Yeah.
In the rounds of Salty Ninjas.
Well, ADC Varus.
I was actually about to say Varus, so there you go.
Yeah, Varus being one of the strongest ADC picks right now with his versatile ultimate and his really strong kit right now with Rage Blade and whatnot.
Indeed, and you see the last two bans coming out from the Backdoor Boys were both support-oriented. However, I feel like it might be somewhat wasted, as the Shen could easily be the support pick.
Yeah, it looks like that Shen is the support pick, Malphite being commonly played in top, so well predicted there.
Yeah, so those two bans have somewhat gone unprecedented.
Yeah, so waiting for Distastic? How would you pronounce that?
I would pronounce that Distastic.
Distastic?
Yes, and they've picked up the Jinx, who did receive a buff recently. When she gets excited, whether she kills a turret or a champion, she can exceed the attack speed limit.
Yeah.
With her Q on the minigun mode, I believe.
That would be great into the 3 tanks on the side of Salty Ninjas. And we also see a Singe being picked up from Backdoor Boys. A really strong solo queue pick right now. It'll be interesting to see how that's being going to be played into their comp.
Yes, I'm unsure on how the Singe would go into the team composition, or they've got a. It looks like they're aiming for the team fight.
So,
but with the Singe, that's sort of
yeah.
the window.
Oh. Something
appear to
something must
had
have been a
some sort of
placeholder
technical
pick.
issue.
Is there a placeholder pick coming out?
One of the members of Salty Ninjas has, in fact, left.
Okay, so just
the lobby
confirming,
for
Mundo
unknown reason.
is Zaya. So that's just a placeholder pick.
Right.
So it's definitely not a team comp with no ADC. So I'm just gonna hide the lobby right now, and we'll go to a
That's a good
loading
choice.
screen while we get
So
everything
they meant
reset
to
up.
pick Zaya, whereas they picked Mundo.
Correct.
Well, that's an interesting. I'd say that's the first time I've seen that encounter.
Yeah, so
And
it's
we're
just
going to get back into it. They're going to have to do all the same picks.
and the bans
and
all
bans.
over again. Correct. So just a couple more minutes going
obviously-
through the exact same thing. Fun.
Yes. But obviously, instead of the Mundo, they shall in fact pick Zaya.
Yeah, I was actually really hoping to see that team comp.
Mundo ADC.
Yeah, I mean, you just chuck cleavers all day. Q.
His Q does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it seems like I've got a message. I really want to click on that message. Really unfortunate that I can't, but whoever that has messaged me, I'll reply to you soon.
I think it might have to do with my volume, as I did get a message to that when the stream started. But I have made some adjustments, and hopefully that is now fixed.
Yep, I'll just hide that away and look at the message real quickly. Yeah, apparently you're very, very quiet. I'm just going to increase your volume from my side, and hopefully we'll be able to hear you on the stream. Would you like to say some
yes.
words? Yeah? You definitely sound a lot louder.
I would like to say some words. This game, I reckon it's going to be a very good set of games we've got here, because Backdoor Boys, their first loss for this whole Rumble event was just the last week, I believe.
Yeah,
Other than that, they've
which
gone
team too?
in every single set. Which team did they lose to? I believe they lost to the Salty Assassin. Salty
Ninjas? This team right here?
SS.
SS, so that's
Who is SS?
I shall look at that now. So we have a number of teams with S's. There's AAS, so there's
Silver
Alpaca,
Scrapes, that is Deacon
Silver
University.
Scrapes. Alright, so looking at the
one team that they've lost to.
seeding system, SS is the top seed of this tournament. So I believe they've gone through not undefeated, but they are seed number 1 going into the semifinals, which we're in right now. SN and BDB are seeded 2 and 3.
Yes, SN, as I can see, has had a rather on and off time so far in this Rumble, but definitely not lost in the fact that they could take this from Backdoor Boys.
Yeah, all it takes is just a win here to get through to the grand finals. So good luck to them. Hopefully, we get a very, very competitive match today.
Yes, I'm looking forward to some sort of early aggression coming out from that Shyvana towards the Kindred, as Kindred can be somewhat reliant on her passive stacks.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Kindred recently, so I was quite surprised by the pick. Shyvana being a somewhat meta pick right now, only just being phased out slowly right now with the stronger Skarner picks and Sejuani picks right now. So Shyvana's just slowly dropping out of favor, but Kindred is someone that you rarely see at all.
Yes, as the meta nowadays does seem to favor more of the tanky junglers that can offer quite a bit of CC, but not so much towards the assassins.
Yeah,
you don't see too much Rengar or Kha'Zix
definitely
in these organized team comps.
Yeah, so being someone from ECU, do you know much about Cinderhead at all, and if he does play Kindred on the regular?
No, he doesn't play Kindred on the regular.
Alright.
In fact, their top laner as well, LOL123XB, let's just call him XB for short, he's actually a renowned Nasus player, so I'm actually surprised to see the Nasus ban coming out from Backdoor Boys.
Yeah, maybe this is just the 4D chess mind games. Ban the Nasus, do really well or badly this game with Singed, and the next game they're in, they don't ban Nasus, the other team doesn't ban Nasus, he gets a Nasus, they win a game 2, and then they take game 3. It's just 4D chessing right now.
However, I am glad to see Skit on his Oriana. He is quite formidable on that. And then, as I mentioned prior, Volkshians with his personal pick, the Liliana.
Yeah, so now that we see all the team comps and picks perfectly clear, what do you think overall for Salty Ninjas? The champions are quite interesting. You don't normally see Malphite support nowadays.
Yes, I was quite surprised by Malphite's support. It's pre-6. There's not a lot of pressure coming out from that pick. They could easily be put in a disadvantaged position just by them zoning him out of Q range, because he is quite mana dependent on that Q. So unless he's gone for I believe it's mana flow band with some sorcery, he's gonna have a really tough time in the laning phase.
Yeah, pre-6, Malphite doesn't really offer much as well. All that he can really do is Q and auto attack, and that doesn't really provide much in the early stages. Whereas Leona Jinx with the stuns and the snares, you're almost dead if you get caught, which is quite dangerous. And Salty Ninjas need to be prepared for that combo that can follow up there.
Yes, the sunlight damage passive coming out from Leona whenever she marks an enemy champion with her abilities can be very surprising in the early game.
Yep, I just would not want to face that lane right now. Leona Jinx, that's just a scary combo.
Yes,
once you're CC'd, you're just gonna stay rooted down with Jinx following up with the Chompers. What are they called?
I believe they are called Flame Chompers.
Okay,
yes.
Flame Chompers, yeah. So that's very scary. But post 6, Malphite Xayah has extremely strong level 6.
Yes.
They jump in and they can escape fights really easily. So it'll be really interesting to see how they fare up until then.
Yes, sorry. It really does seem that Salty Ninjas are aiming for the mid to late game power spikes.
Yeah, both
as
teams.
Lux does have a lot of damage coming out once she finishes her Morellonomicon, and I believe it's one other item, probably Rabidance.
Yeah, both teams are quite heavy scaling champions. Both teams picking like they want a team fight. So I'm expecting a good game going to the maybe 40 plus minutes, unless something a bit crazy happens in the early game.
I'm gonna call it 37 minutes.
37 minutes? I'll put
37 minutes.
I'll put a good 43. You know, the meaning of life. Wait, no, that's 42.
Yeah, you won off there.
Well, 43 it is. Not the meaning of life and the question and the rest of that. But it'll do.
Yes, I'm interested to see how the 1v1 in the top lane will work out with the Singed against the Shen, as Shen can, depending on the build path, be quite notorious with split pushing. And if the Singed isn't able to answer that, well, with Singed it's quite a lot like Kha'Zix. You go big or you go home.
Yeah.
You're either going to be the absolute threat coming from your team, or you're just not going to be noticeable.
Yeah. What I like about the Singed pick is I think it offers a lot to their team right now. He can just split push all game and not really do much, but he can also run around in team fights, just being a really big nuisance. You don't really expect a Singed to do anything until he does something, and it's absolutely frustrating. I'd say that it's almost worse than a Teemo.
Yes, those sort of champions do have a mental effect on whoever they are up against, which can be the deciding factor in the matchup. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just one of those champions that I rarely ever want to face because if you win, it's like you just beat a Singed, you know? He was proxying, he wasn't doing much, you know, you were meant to beat Singed. And if you lose to a Singed, that's just embarrassing.
Oh, absolutely. Alright, so we are pausing at 10 seconds.
That is correct. So we'll be pausing at 10 seconds. So I'm just on 10 right now. Gonna adjust the stream to make sure everyone at home can see. That'll just be a moment. Alright, so I'm actually on 11 seconds. I clicked slightly late, but on 3.
Alright, I'll just get to 11.
Yep.
Done. Yep.
Alright, so let's just unpause on 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and we're good to go.
Yes, I am going to get time controls on my end so I can see the screen
We're
more
just
clearly.
in game right now. I'm watching everyone run outside of their base, are going to their designated positions. They're all looking to go to
like,
one brush each.
It looks like there's going to be a bit of an early fight coming out here over the river. Good proc of the resolve coming out. Malphite tanking a lot of unnecessary damage. It seems like that Salty Ninjas were going for an engage that they couldn't really make up for. Unless the Lux went binding first, they had no crowd control to sort of stop an escape attempt. Whereas, of course, on the other hand, you've got the Backdoor boys with the Leona who, level 1, took the Q ability. Making sure that they can lock down anyone coming in for a cheeky jungle invade without any sort of problem. But all the other teams have now backed off, and they appear to be starting at relatively standard buffs, dropping wards just in case one of the opposing junglers tries to get a sneaky steal. As both the laners from the bot lane give each of their respective junglers the leash they desire.
Yeah, so looking at the paths right now, they'll just both junglers should go standard jungle route, and we should expect them both either to meet up in top lane or just continue farming if they desire. I'm just really hoping to see Kindred make some early moves.
And you have the Sins just trying to get through the base of laning phase with as little kit as he has. Some good poke coming out from the Orianna towards the Lux there in the mid lane though, forcing Lux off from the creep wave just a bit. And we do actually have an Infernal Drake spawning in, which could be incredibly vital for the Shyvana, who does get the percentage armor and magic resist bonus from killing the dragons. And we do have a bit of a conflict going in the bot lane. Flame Chompers land on the Malphite, but he's able to get away. Chugging a pot, he'll be fine. We do have Kindred and Shyvana getting very close to each other in the topside jungle. Kindred did just pick up a mark from her passive, so she does have a little bit of a buff, but nothing too extraordinary just yet, although it can certainly get to that in the late game. Malphite trying to land some Q harass onto the Jinx, and Xayah attempting to land the combo snare, but finding it unsuccessful. And
Yeah.
it seems like this Malphite is just trying to... Ew. And we have Kindred coming in. Leona goes onto the Xayah, lands, waits for the stun, lands it perfectly, drops the exhaust right when they flash to slow her down. I believe that was Jinx who flashed to secure the kill, and they're going to be able to pick up the Malphite as well thanks to the sunlight damage, and that's a double kill in the bot lane. Singed, running around, he's going to run out of mana. He's going to have to back off from this, otherwise the Shen could get a return kill for them in the top lane, but it seems like things are going to die down now as the bot lane moved to help secure another buff for Kindred. Yeah,
we're possibly looking at an early dragon right now. Lux is going to go down just to have a sneak peek, but she's just going to get caught by the Kindred right now.
Slow her down. The flash comes out. Is she going to flash as well? She drops the barrier and the flash, and then And then we get two flashes coming out from the Kindred and the Leona, who wanted to try and get a sneaky KS there, but was unsuccessful. They might even go for an early dragon here just to try and steal it away from the Shyvana.
Yeah, I don't actually think this is the best idea right now, just because there are 3 coming towards the dragon right now.
You do have Shyvana and Malphite coming down right now. They could look for the steal. If they're able to get the smite off, that'll be very beneficial for them.
Yeah, they get the dragon, but they're going to go down.
They pay for it with their lives, though. Kindred does go down to the Xayah, but Jinx does pick herself up a 3rd kill on top of the assist that they got in the mid lane on the Lux. And that's a teleport from the Shen coming out. Flash taunt onto the Leona, who gets picked off, and the kill goes to the Shen. That trade did not work out well for the Backdoor boys. They lost the dragon, and they gave 2 kills.
Yeah, you should never do dragon that early, especially not after backing. They had everything in their favor. They were 3-0 up, and they wanted to get greedy and go for more. It's just not something you should be doing at this stage of the game, knowing the enemy's gonna come back. So it's just a greedy play overall. Despite taking the 1k gold lead, they just gave a little bit back.
Coming down from the river.
Yep.
Moving back up. We're not going to have any fights coming out just yet. Finish your thought, please.
Yeah, no, it's just greedy overall, but we see Kindred back in mid lane, ganking Lux. Slowing her.
I don't think she's going to be able to pick anything up just yet. The Shyvana is there to lend support, and there is a control ward, so they do lose vision. Orianna making a questionable face check. The Kindred's going to be able to pick up the Lux again, but the Shyvana is able to get the Orianna. That lack of vision was very detrimental for Backdoor boys right there.
Yeah, so overall, just a 1-for-1 trade. Not too bad. Both mid laners dying and the junglers getting just a little bit out of it. But we can see Kindred getting very, very strong, picking up marks and taking a lot while she's running around the jungle.
Missing 2 caster creeps up in the top lane.
Yeah, just missed that. But we're at the bot lane again, and another engage from Leona. Jinx going
She's
in.
Following up. Jinx is going to be able to pick up the
we
kill
see a
unless
Shen
Shen ultimate saves him. Shen getting that level 6. Very handy.
Yeah, we can see Shyvana trying to steal the red buff right now.
Yeah, going to be a little bit of a fight here. This Shyvana does a lot more damage than you. Flashes onto it.
She's going to get the kill, but can she escape? Yeah, not today.
She's gonna get picked off eventually by Skit. As Leona comes up in the eventuality that the Shyvana might be able to run away, but that's unlikely. Due to all of these confrontations going down, most of the solo laners, other than the top lanes, I'd say, well, even just the top lanes, yes, have not been able to get what I would deem an adequate amount of CS in the time for the game.
Yeah, on average, you'd expect to see roughly 10 CS per minute. It's a bit slow to take off, but yeah, seeing 40 and 30 CS in the mid lane, that's quite short. They're probably 20 CS less than they should be right now, and the same thing for top.
Yeah,
it
almost seems like they're trying to focus on farming champions rather than minions.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, top is roughly the same CS as mid lane, despite having little interaction, so they're just missing CS.
Yes, and the fact that the Shen is still competing with the Singed, with the pressure that he was able to give to the bot lane, and the Singed has not used teleport or ghost. He hasn't used anything to assist the rest of his team.
Yeah, I don't think he cares much about his team with those 3 rings on his fingers. He's just all about his own money.
As it seems like this Singed might be the one that goes home if he's not able to pick up the slack a little bit. Could potentially be a conflict brewing towards the mid lane, as both junglers are in the top side parts of the jungle. Majority of the vision going towards the salty ninjas. So it's going to be very hard for Kindred to get off a gank without the Shyvana being able to prepare for a counter gank, which you can see happening right now as they both move towards the tri-brush in the top lane. Lux and Orianna are going to duke it out in the river, but
yeah, Kindred being a little caught off here.
Now going to have to jump over the wall. Still lands the taunt though from the Shen, and they were able to pick up the Kindred no problems, because the Kindred was not able to tell that it was in fact warded.
Yeah, it's pretty standard play from Shyvana. Kindred just being a little greedy, seeing that her mark was on the golems, I believe, whatever they're called, Grump golems.
I believe they are the golems, yes.
Yeah,
Grump
so
is
going for the
front,
golems with that mark on, Shyvana was just there, ready to pick her up.
Shyvana is also coming up towards the top lane. Sin's gonna have no trouble getting away though, as he does have Ghost available. And it seems like, overall, I'd say a good cleanse coming out from the Orianna, able to dodge the Lux combination. But overall, it seems like Backdoor boys have just been overconfident this game. They felt like they've been able to take more than they can, and the Leona ult coming out misses, but they're able to connect with the stun, and then the Flame Chompers flashes onto them. That's the Xayah going down. They're not going to be able to pick up the Malphite as he waddles away under the tower. Dragon's up in 20 seconds. Unsure of what type it is. But if it's another Infernal, it's definitely going to be a potential pick. Exhaust coming out to slow him down, because he's not going to be dealing any damage. Jinx ult coming out, finishing him off. Shyvana's in the area, but isn't going to be able to stop the turret from getting taken down. And that's going to be first turret as well, which would be a significant gold boost towards the side of Backdoor boys. And it is a second Infernal Drake, as we can see down on the bottom part of the map. Orianna's making her way down, and blind checking the bush once again is going to go down to the Lux and the Shyvana, who has ultimate ready with double buffs, and I'd say could potentially 2v3 here with the Lux.
Yeah, they definitely can. It's quite a big threat, and
especially with the Xayah heading down from the blue buff.
We see them engage, Shen
coming
TPing.
out. Shyvana ulties onto the Leona and the Kindred. Kindred ult. Leona isn't staying to find out how the fight goes. Kindred out of mana, out of time, out of luck, out of life. And Jinx gonna have to back away. They may try to look for a steal with the Zap, but that's about it. That's about all they can hope for. And they're not going to get it. That's a double Infernal going towards the Shyvana, who very much so enjoys that.
Yeah, that's twice already. ECU gave up. Sorry, Backdoor boys who are from ECU gave up the Infernal Drake just because of overstaying and being greedy. They took their kills bot lane. They got their tower. You back now. You do not go for more, especially with the threat of Lux Shyvana being on quite healthy states. It's quite disappointing to see such great individual and mechanical plays being made in the bot lane going to waste.
Yes, and Singed able to claim a somewhat of a consolation prize in the top lane by getting the turret down, as he did not teleport down to help the rest of his team, whereas the Shen did.
Yeah, and it's quite disappointing to see him stay top for so long without getting that much more CS than Shen. Shen being 2 less than him right now.
It looks like the Shyvana and the Shen are going to go for Rift Herald, actually, and it's relatively uncontested. There is no vision from the Backdoor boys onto it, and Kindred is currently getting Grump. Orianna might check it, though, and it looks like the three of them are moving down towards it. They might be able to get the steal on it if they're in there in the nick of time. They're not able to as Shyvana smites it. Shen picks up the Rift, the Eye of the Rift Herald, as Lux comes in to lay a helping hand. Stopwatch comes out from the Shyvana, is almost able to pick up the Orianna, as the Singed is running quite literal circles around the Salty Ninjas, but to no avail. And it looks like that fight's going to die down now, as majority of the teams converge towards the mid lane.
Yeah, something that I need to bring up now is despite the individual brilliance of Distastic being on 5 kills, they're not doing enough with that advantage. There's pretty much, yeah, Malphite's, to me, Malphite is almost inting right now. There's not much he can provide in the bot lane at all. When he gets CC'd, all he can do is ult back and just stand there. So I'd like to see Backdoor boys do a little more with their bot lane right now.
One thing I'd like to point out, which neither of us have noticed, the Malphite is running Kleptomancy.
Yep, that just sounds useless to me. Not in a Malphite, not in the bot lane when you cannot harass.
A misselection of the masteries there. Malphite, not very well known for his Kleptomancy synergy.
Yeah.
Although every champion does have somewhat synergy with Kleptomancy. Malphite is not one of the renowned ones, such as Gangplank or Ezreal.
Yeah. What I think it may have been is possibly it's his top runes, and he just picked it in the bot lane expecting similar things. That's the only real thing I can expect with him picking Kleptomancy, because there is some viability in the top lane.
I can see that. That does seem like somewhat of a reasonable excuse, but you've got to have different runes for support. It's just
definitely.
More sensible.
Yeah, we may potentially see a gank in the bot lane with 3 of the red team being at the bot.
And he is an unstoppable force, as it says. They may even go for the tower dive. Jinx able to flash the Malphite ultimate. Very well done. Malphite exhausts going onto the Leona for some unknown reason, as the rest of the Backdoor boys chase down, and the Lux is flipped into the rest of the team. Cinderhead gonna pick up that kill. And this might be the opening that the Backdoor boys was looking for to get back into this game.
Yeah,
they are currently up 5k in gold, as they do have the tower advantage. They have 2 towers, whereas the Salty Ninjas have none, and they may even get a third in the mid lane now, as the RNA are whacking away at that.
Yeah, I just gotta point out, at no point in this game has Backdoor boys fallen behind. So they've just given needless dragons, and they've given back little bits of their advantage. But aside from that, they've always been ahead this game with their really proactive movements.
Yes, they've always been ahead in the base state of the game, but those dragons heading towards the Shyvana would prove very detrimental the later the game goes on.
Yeah, if their team can get to the late game, then it should start to even up with the 2, potentially 3 Infernal Drakes. But right now,
are able to secure that mid lane tower and further the gold lead to 6.5k.
Yeah, a 6.5k gold lead at 16 minutes in the game. That's not something you see every day, and when you do see that, that's almost GG. So hopefully,
they're also able to pick up the inner turret in the bot lane.
Yeah, I really hope to see Salty Ninjas just slow the game down a little, just refocus and take some objectives. Right now, they don't have any objectives taken. They've lost how many towers? 4 of them. So yeah.
Herald coming out in the top lane as they converge on the Singed. He's going to go down. The Singed would have been able to stop the Rift Herald summoning by flipping the Shen, but he hesitated.
Yeah,
although he likely would have met the same fate regardless. And they're going to be able to take down the Rift Herald without it taking the turret. And it looks like they're actually trying to defend the top lane turret here, as Jinx is en route, and the Kindred laying the smackdown. Leona's going to pick up that kill. Don't think that was intentional. The Jinx landing the zap, forcing the Malphite to flash over the wall. They're going to be able to get away, and it looks like they're going to try and push in the top wave, maybe even try and get that top inner turret. But by the looks of Jinx and Leona rotating down to try and stop the Shyvana getting a 3rd dragon, that's not going to happen. Singed using his teleport for the first time towards the dragon pit. They're not able to secure it, and the Shyvana's going to be able to get away, ulting.
Yes,
that's a 3rd dragon.
3 dragons. Can we get a check on what the 4th dragon will be?
4th dragon we will know in a second. It is an Ocean Drake.
Ocean Drake. Okay, so not 3 Infernals yet.
No, not 3 Infernals. But let's take a look at the current buffs towards Shyvana. So we're not able to get accurate numbers, but I believe it is a 15% armor and magic resist buff.
Yeah,
which is quite significant.
Oh, that was extremely close.
Almost able to get the kill with the Comet. Lux should pretty much just back at this point, but I don't think the Backdoor boys are going to be able to get this turret or force anything at this point. Baron is coming up in 1 minute, but neither team is really in a position to be able to take that without risk of a severe loss.
Yeah, I'd say Salty Ninjas is severely lacking in vision right now. They don't have any wards outside of the one in the top lane. Nope, they have zero wards on the map at all.
Tower, gonna take a lot of damage from that tower aggro. Feels like that was a bit of an unnecessary engage, but it gets them to the tower, so I guess it works. As the Salty Ninjas try not to converge on the one lane that is pushing into their turret. Shyvana, though, with the help of Shen, gonna pick up a solo kill on the Kindred. Cinderhead getting a bit too big for his boots. And deciding to wander the dark enemy jungle alone.
Yeah, so Baron just spawning in 10 seconds now. I'd really like to see Salty Ninjas play some wards around that, just so they know what's happening there. They don't have anything there right now, and that can be the nail in the coffin if the enemy team does take it.
The Salty Ninjas do have yet to have a compressed team fight where everyone, well, at least a majority of the members are there. We had that one event in the bot lane, but only the Malphite and the Shyvana were within range of each other. So I believe if the Malphite is able to get off a good ultimate and hopefully peel effectively for the Lux and the Xayah, they still stand a chance in winning a team fight.
Yeah, the big scare is that despite having this really big wombo combo, there's always the saving grace of that Kindred ultimate. So despite chucking down all your CC, all your ultimates, Kindred can just laugh at you and just place her own one down, and everything just feels like it's gone to a bit of a waste.
However, Kindred is restricted with her ultimate. She's not able to cast it while crowd controlled, unlike Tryndamere, for example. But of course, that is a self-only invulnerability. So if they are able to burst down someone in a teamfight, it should be the Kindred.
Yeah, definitely. And even if she does get, I cannot remember any items today. What's the item that makes you cleanse CC?
That is Mercurial Scimitar, or the base item for it is Quicksilver Slash.
Yeah, so despite having those two items, they have no effect against Malphite ultimates. Being a knock-up, you can't do anything against that. You just take the knock-up and just wait.
Yes, in fact, the only things that would really be affected by that... Oh, hold on. Ultimate coming out on top of the Malphite. He's tanking a lot of damage. Shen ultimate not even going to be able to finish as Exhaust pops onto the Lux and they just flash over the wall and take her out. Shyvana going in, a one-man army, a one-man dragon, as the taunt comes in from the Shen but misses, and the Orianna ultimate pulls back the Shyvana away from the fight as she retreats. Xayah's in range, trying to get some poke damage down, not going to be able to do anything. The Kindred ultimate pops as she tries to jump over the wall. Xayah ultimate lands, but isn't going to have any sort of follow-up as the rest of her team is currently incapacitated. And it looks like they're going to lose this tower. Heal has to come out for the Orianna as the Xayah almost picked up that kill. The Singed doing some questionable things in the bottom inner workings of the Salty Ninja's base. He's going to be able to get away with Ghost and Ultimate popped, however, as the Malphite effortlessly chases. And yes, that was a successful push for the Backdoor boys.
Yeah,
who, for a lack of things, haven't been backdooring very much.
At this stage of the game, it's really hard to do anything against Backdoor boys' comp. You have Kindred and you have Jinx, both with 8 and 2 kills respectively, and that's just a lot of damage on them. They can walk up to towers, take that, and run away. There's not really much you can do, so...
yes, and their gold lead has extended to 10k, or just about. Just under, I'd say.
Yeah, it's just a very scary game, and Salty Ninjas is just walking on glass right now. Or broken glass right now.
And the Ocean Drake will be spawning in 25 seconds, but it looks like both teams are wanting to contest for the Baron.
Yeah, that is the immediate threat right now and what everyone's worrying about. Ocean Drake just being another Drake, not gonna add too much to Shyvana's total.
Roaming around in the enemy jungle could potentially get caught out. Okay, no, he's looking to group with the rest of his team. That could have ended badly if the Singed was caught out, though.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how he built. He's gone full AP, and he's just being a bit of a nuisance around the map, despite being less tanky than he can. He's just gone back to top lane, just splitting again as Singe does.
He does have teleport available, so there's
Yep.
no fault in that. It looks like the Salty Ninjas are trying to secure the dragon at the very least, as they know Backdoor Boys are currently within its perimeter, and not going for the Baron, as they do have plenty of wards in that area. Starting up the dragon, it's going to come out of the pit. Leona goes in onto the Malphite. Somehow it's working, focusing the Malphite, able to land the kill with the ultimate. They're looking to secure the dragon. Singed, meanwhile, doing what he can in the top lane. Leona lands the snare onto the Shyvana, and they're going to be able to follow up with the kill, maybe? No! A lot of burst coming out from the Xayah as the Kindred ultimate tries to keep him alive. The Shyvana comes back into it, and that's a lot of damage coming from the Xayah. Lux is getting chased from behind by the Orianna, but the rest of the team is going to come in and follow up. Shenton is almost up and going to be able to save the Lux's life. Shyvana also coming in, and they're going to be able to clean up the Orianna, and that's a 4-1... Oh, sorry, it's a 4-1 team fight.
4-1? 4 to no one.
Ninjas was Malphite.
Was that not a 4-0? No one died.
No, the Malphite died, didn't he?
No?
Yes, the Malphite died to the Leona ultimate.
Oh, my bad. Oh yeah, he died really early on, so I just saw him spawn back. He definitely did, so 4-1.
Singed, all he got was a turret. And he had teleport available that entire time.
Yeah, Singe is just doing Singe things. It's just like another solo queue game. Just staying up top, doing his own thing, not caring about his own team.
But overall, that team fight was very bad for the Backdoor Boys, and very good for Elamir.
Yeah, everything just seemed to go wrong, and it shouldn't have. When you're that far ahead, it just feels like you shouldn't be losing team fights. But Orianna split away from a team, and Kindred's ult just seemed to fail themselves, so I don't know. It just seemed like chaos happened, and they died.
And Orianna ultimate gonna whiff, but Xayah, being the overconfident one in this case, and gets picked up by the Orianna and the Leona. Leona ultimate coming out. She's going to be able to lock down the Lux as the rest of the team is there to follow suit, and they're going to be able to pick up the kill on the Lux. Salty Ninjas overextending where they really shouldn't. And that's going to be Baron by the most part, because the Shyvana is backing. And they're not going to be able to reach it in time, as they do have a lot of DPS on the side of Backdoor Boys.
Yeah, so do you remember the times you predicted earlier on before the match started? What time did you think the game was going to end?
I said 37 minutes.
37? I think you're getting close. I feel like at this stage it may end a little sooner than that, but I was way off compared to you.
I'd be in line to agree with you. Singed with the Baron buff, laying siege to the top lane with only the support Malphite with Kleptomancy to defend it. It is a valiant effort, but an unsuccessful one, as you can see as the tower falls. A great crit landing onto the Xayah as Singed pops Ghost, thinking that there's going to be a fight, but clearly not. He may just run up to the Lux, however. No, he's just running around the base. There he goes.
Yeah.
As the Leona and I believe the Kindred are pushing up the bot wave to lay siege to that next.
Yeah, I just really like to see different picks from the support next game. Yeah.
The only ones up here, everyone else on the team of Backdoor Boys is down towards the mid lane.
Why is Jinx backing? They have
I
Baron.
have no idea.
Everyone's just backing at different
Backdoor
times.
Boys, the Leona engaging with only the Sins there to help. This is not
It's
the
a
engage that they want.
2v5. It's a 2v5. Good night, Singed.
Communication coming from Backdoor Boys, clear as daylight, as only the Leona is able to get away. They might be able to get away with an inhibitor though, but is it really worth sacrificing members of your team for an objective? And that's the Leona going to be going down to the Xayah as well, just building up the Xayah powerhouse.
I mean, throwing bodies at the enemy team is one way to get an inhib, as we've just seen. It may not be the most optimal way, but it's one way, and hopefully to them it paid off.
But with both of the kills going towards the Xayah, however, who, as we saw in the previous team fight, is the winning. It looks to be the winning factor for the Salty Ninjas.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure it's the wisest decision.
I would say it's a ADC meta right now. ADC is being so crucial, more so than usual to any team. They have the potential to win and carry games. So who knows if they draw it out long enough, they can win having those two Infernal Drakes. Could we also have a check on the next dragon, whatever that may be?
That is going to be a second Ocean Drake.
Okay, so no three Inferno Drakes today, but two is still strong, and they still have everything else. Let's not go with the whole that whole storyline that Inferno Drake is the only Drake you ever need. Everything has its strengths and weaknesses, so that extra bit of versatility can help.
In the way that I see, Singe might be getting caught out here as he is in a 1v3, 1v4 scenario. It looks like he's going to fall down. He doesn't have Ghost up just yet, and yes, the Shyvana is going to be able to pick up the kill as the rest of the Backdoor boys is in no position to make up for his sacrifice this time.
Yeah, they were just all going to bot, warding around, just preparing for the next dragon, but Singe just going top a little too early for them to do anything to capitalize.
Malphite, not building any magic resist, is taking a whopping of damage from the Orianna, and the Shyvana follows suit. Leona going on her own onto the Xayah, has to flash away. Leona ulting to follow it up. Orianna as well will land the Q and have to Zhonya's to survive. Leona is still doing damage to the Xayah, is going to be able to pick up the kill with the help of the Orianna. Jinx and the rest of the Backdoor boys crew able to pick up the Shen.
I think this is GG.
I believe it is, yes. There is only the Lux standing up. There is 5 seconds for the Malphite to come up, who does have ultimate, so there may be a saving grace in that. However, that is going to be a second inhib going down, and there is a minion wave coming in the bot lane, so they can rotate back down there and push that if this siege of the Nexus turrets fails. But it doesn't look like it's going to, as the Leona just dives onto the Malphite with no hesitation, and they're going to be able to take down the turret. Lux does pick up the Kindred with the ultimate, however, not paying too much attention. That's both Nexus turrets down and 2 inhibs down. That's going to be very difficult for the Salty Ninjas to hold as well as contest the other objectives.
Yeah, so it's not GG yet, but we have potentially a couple more minutes in the game. So it's just...
We also have a Banner of Command coming out for the Singe, as we saw on that Super Minion, who was quite tanky.
I just gotta say, Malphite's build choice is extremely interesting this game. We started off with that Kleptomancy, and he ended up rushing Gauntlets without any health. I feel like there could have been a lot more optimal item picks this game from the Malphite. Like, when you're a Malphite, you're not much else than a body, one form of big CC, and the rest is just items. If your items don't mean much, you don't do much. You don't need the Iceborne Gauntlet. You better off just going, I don't know, a Sunfire Cape, or any of the other armor items that have HP. He's just so squishy right now. His only HP item is a giant belt. You can buy that so early on. It's just not enough for, it's just not enough tankiness for their team, and it's really disappointing to see him built quite greedily without him ever auto-attacking. I just really want to see the stats on how many auto-attacks he's done this game. I don't think you can see that, but it can't be much.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more there. And with the Malphite, especially in the support position, you're not aiming to deal damage. You're aiming to provide tankiness and crowd control for the rest of your team. So more or less, you'd want to go with a Gargoyle Stoneplate or something to help soak that damage, as plenty of CC is coming out onto the Shen, and they're going to be able to pick up the kill as the inhib just respawns. They're going to pick that up, no problem, if either of them decide to focus it. Blind, sorry, not so much blind, but a Jinx ult comes out, connects to the Shyvana, who just happens to be standing next to the Lux, who's on barely any health, and it picks up that kill. Orianna looking to get a lot of damage down onto the Xayah, who isn't paying attention to where the orb is. Gets a double kill down onto the Malphite, and the Shyvana is going to go down with no problem, and that's going to be GG for the Backdoor boys. 34 minutes. I'm 3 minutes off.
Yeah. I thought it would have ended a little earlier, but 34 minutes on the dot. So, what an interesting game overall. I I'm not sure how I felt about it. I guess this is a Division 4 match, not throwing shade at all, but it is
Oh no.
what you come to expect of these games.
But at the same time, with both sides being at this level playing field, you don't know what to expect, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. I'm not too sure about how I feel about games like this. I
Where
think
do you come across such wonders as kleptomancy support Malphite?
I think I can find enough interesting games in the beautiful elo of Hardstuck D5. So I think the games are interesting enough for me, and hopefully the next game we can see a bit more calculatedness in their picks and builds at the very least. I think in terms of gameplay, I thought it was interesting, but there are things that can be optimized that doesn't really change much, and that's just picking the right champions and building the right things. I think it would be a lot more. It would give Malphite and other champions in either team a bit of an easier shot. I think that's the most one of the biggest tips I give to lower elo players. Pick things that suit you. Try play to your ability and not do something that's too uncomfortable for you.
Absolutely, and I believe the players are going to take a short break, so we may as well take a short break as well. I believe there is something in admin chat that you need to look into.
Yeah, definitely. I shall be back.
Yes, and we shall both be back in a momentary amount of time.
Definitely. Welcome back to Game 2 between SN and BDB. So that was a really interesting Game 1, and I'm hoping to see a lot of changes this game from the side of Salty Ninjas.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, both teams have now swapped sides. Salty Ninjas being on the blue side, so they get first ban and I believe first pick. And then you have the Backdoor boys on the red side representing the ECU University. And I believe the Salty Ninjas are representing Deacon University.
Oh,
Murdoch
Murdoch Uni.
University. Yes,
Correct.
Murdoch.
So, we're seeing some similar-ish bans from last game.
Very similar. In fact, the exact same.
Yeah, looks
I'm
like
surprised
that.
there hasn't been a Leona ban from
Yeah, that
the,
Leona was so threatening that game.
The Leona was on top of their game. It is the favorite of the player, Volctions. And there's the Shyvana ban coming out from the Backdoor boys. They took something. from that game, at
Maybe a
least.
first pick Leona this time.
Perhaps. Unless the Salty Ninjas are looking to pick it. Then
Yeah.
I believe...
They could go for it right now, and that's a twisted fate.
Twisted Fate, well, no doubt the Backdoor boys are going to be able to pick up the Leona. As well as now they know what they're facing in the mid lane. And
Okay.
Udyr picked up as well. I'd assume that's the jungle pick.
Yeah, I don't think there's many other places you can go within Udyr effectively. Like, you can try playing Udyr support or top lane, but it's nowhere near as good as a jungler. But we're
Actually,
seeing the Jinx pick.
picked up.
Yeah, I
the
think
Leona.
Jinx did amazingly well last game. I think she was 9-1 or 9-0. It may have been more, but Jinx was a complete threat that whole game.
We have a Zoe.
Yeah.
We have a Zoe.
Wow. It went through, but I'm not sure.
Nasus.
I'm not sure what Zoe's gonna look like in the hands of a. I'm not throwing shade. Okay.
In a lower elo player.
Let's not say that. It's gonna be interesting to see Zoe played in any game. Zoe's a lovely champion to see. No more shade being thrown. This is
You've got more shade than an Egyptian pharaoh, my friend.
2018. New year, new me. No shade
We
being
have a
thrown this year.
Morgana picked up over. I believe that's going to be a Morgana in the mid lane, as I believe Skit does have some time on it.
Yeah, I'm loving the different picks this game. I'm just a bit
Nasus in the
confused.
top lane.
Like, despite the Nasus, Zoe and TF, they're traditionally both mid lane champions. TF can be flexed
I
to
did not even
jungle
realize
or
that.
ADC, so I'm not sure where that TF is gonna go. I'm
There's
hoping
a ban
it's
coming out. That's aimed at Skid.
yeah. I'm not sure that's the right ban. I do think Morgana is going to go to the mid lane for Skitscape. So
Yes, as Leona is still open, and they are more than likely going
Oh.
to pick that.
we've been told Leona is a TF, so that was a placeholder pick. So that passed right by us.
Wait, Leona is
Okay.
TF?
Yeah, so it's a placeholder pick for Leona. So let's forget all the whole TF talk. It is Leona, so they did pick Leona first. So they did what we were
Oh.
initially suggesting.
Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah, because that makes sense as to why BDB did not pick Leona. So,
Second time BDB. My word.
but I'm
We have
kind
a
of
Wukong picked up as well.
loving that comp on the side of Backdoor boys. I love a bit of
Yeah,
Morgana
it's a really
Wukong.
solid
That's a really fun combo to do. You just don't need to worry. You're just jumping in and spinning your big fat dumb stick around.
But where is the
Oh,
Wukong going?
never mind. Wukong is Diana apparently. We're being told
How are these happening?
it's on the stream. We're being told via Twitch chat. I'm getting it via Discord as well, but I'm getting it on Twitch chat first. So okay, is Mordekaiser something else? It is. Mordekaiser is Rek'Sai, so placeholder picks everywhere.
Why aren't they just picking the champions?
So let's hope we get back into game real quickly. I'm just gonna hide my client so people don't harass my online friends.
Not your buddies.
Yeah, well, you've just added me, so you're not a buddy yet. You're lucky to even be in my friends list. I had to delete at least 10 people yesterday. I have a full friends list. Friends list need to be added, increased to 1k. 500 friends is not enough for this world.
Very well, fair enough. I have to earn the right to be your buddy, I see.
Yeah, you gotta climb through my numerous different groups. Right now, you're just in general. I hope you enjoy that. That's where you belong.
You gotta start from...
Yeah, I'm just going through my friends list right now, and some people have interesting names. Completely off topic. One of my friends is the Korean club's president, and his name is Buy Casa Tickets. So if you guys go to Monash, buy Casa Tickets. All right. Yeah, let's start.
Yes, I believe all the teams are organized, so we should have no problem starting up again. Of course, the actual champions will be picked this time, hopefully.
So, to get right back into it, just for those who don't fully understand placeholder picks, it's just what you use if you don't have a champion. You pick a champion for one of your teammates if you expect the other team to pick him. So, obviously, Cold Noob does not have Leona, so Cold Noob picked TF instead of Leona. So his support can, and to take away from the other team. So these people just don't have enough champions to play everything and pick everything, especially, yeah. So that's just the gist of what placeholder picks are.
And I suppose that is that would be a more common thing. Now I'm going to start throwing shades. The lower down the ladder you would go, as more people would tend to be more oriented towards a specific set of champions instead of owning all of them for a variety.
Yeah, that's completely fair. In higher elo, when I'm playing these tournament games, I don't really see placeholder picks as much. Generally, if you're a top laner, your team throws your team pretty much berates you to getting all the champions. That's what we did before any tournament. Yeah, so you're just
every single champion.
you're just the money machine for your team if you're doing placeholder picks. So it's something that top laners need to get used to if they're playing in a competitive format, especially because placeholder picks are used. I'd say in about 60-70% of tournaments I've played in, there are placeholder picks. It's always up to the organizer's discretion if they have placeholder picks or not. But you see it more often than not.
So it is going to be an Udyr in the top lane. I'm interested to see how it works out. I myself have dabbled with Udyr in the top lane, and with mixed results.
I think it's a really, really interesting and niche pick right into the Nasus. It's really targeted towards Nasus. I don't think you would see an Udyr top into other champions, but for a Nasus that doesn't really do much other than slap his big fat cane on his face. I'm going to say big fat anything a lot this game because there are big fat things this game. Nasus has a big fat cane. Zoe has a big fat Q. Morgana's thing is everything is big and fat right now.
I'm just going to let you keep going.
Yep, I'm just rambling right now. But where I was going with this, Udyr is a really interesting pick into Nasus. Just stopping him from doing anything. You E him, you run away, and you just kind of keep up that combo.
There are definitely better picks into the Nasus, though. So I'm a bit... that's why I'm so curious about this particular pick, because as we can see, Darius is in fact not banned.
Yeah.
Darius goes incredibly well into Nasus.
I think the problem with... I wouldn't say problem, but the difference with this ELO is that players always have restricted champ pools, so despite there always being better picks, you have to play with what you're used to. Generally, players in this ELO rather play with what they're comfortable with, and that makes sense. It's not always great to first pick something that you're not confident with. So, it makes sense. Udyr is probably an interesting pick into Nasus, but it does enough of its job to work out. What aside from that Udyr pick, the only other interesting pick on this in this game is Diana on Cinderhead. I noticed Cinderhead does not play traditional or common junglers. Like, we got Kindred last game, and now we got a Diana. These are champions that are extremely niche.
Oh, of course. They focus more along the lines of all-in sort of team fight ideal, whereas Kindred doesn't have a lot of escapes. She has the ability to jump over some of the smaller walls in the map, but in terms of gap closes, not very agile. And the same with Diana. She's able to jump over some walls with her ultimate and Q combination, but other than that, once she goes in, she goes in.
Yeah.
And whether or not the team is there to back her up is, well, up to the rest of them.
So on the topic of champions, let's look at Zoe. Zoe is a wonderful pick. Extremely strong right now, especially if you know how to play her right. But I love the counter picks that Backdoor boys have taken, picking up the Morgana and Braum. Braum being able to shield some of that damage and that threat. And Morgana just being able to chuck her shield on anyone. So these are really great picks into Zoe. So great drafting.
I'm actually surprised they picked the Zoe because of how badly she patched. I mean, she's just unplayable at this point, isn't she?
Yeah. We're seeing her in pretty much everywhere right now, and just earlier today or yesterday, sorry, there was a TSM game where one of the players just got 100-0. I think it was Sven. Yeah, Sven just got absolutely destroyed by the Zoe Q, and I couldn't even see it until it happened. It just came out of nowhere, and it's just so hard to see, especially when you're sieging. It's quite scary. I mean, that's a very isolated case of a team that was so far ahead, and that Zoe just being really, really fed, doing all her damage. But I just feel like that should never, ever happen in a game like League of Legends. They've been trying to take away that crazy burst from most champions in this game so far. LeBlanc no longer has that burst that instantly. They've taken away items that give that burst potential. And now you have Zoe, which has that burst potential every 7 seconds. Or 7 or so seconds. That's unreal. That's just not...
Yes, and they have yet to do something that functionally works as a counteractive. Or better yet, they have yet to do something that lessens the blow from that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a massive nerf recently to Zoe's Q. Yes. That's 0.25 seconds. That's massive, dude. Like, you can't forget about that.
I'm curious to see how Soul Bunny 99 will cope with that massive nerf.
Yeah, so we're just gonna head to the our special beach loading screen right now while we load into the game and get ready. So it just takes a while to get in game, so you're just gonna be looking at the screen for about a minute. So sorry to the viewers at home, but that's just what it is.
And this is the semi-finals, correct?
This is the semi-final match, so this may be the last best of three series. This may be the last series for one of these teams. This will be the last series for one of these teams.
We have Kleptomancy Leona picked up again. Kleptomancy Leona is better than Kleptomancy Fight. I'll give him that.
What's with Kleptomancy support? I don't get it. I'm sorry. To the viewers at home, you can't see this. You cannot see the borders right now. But Ghost of Heroes, Leona this game, and previously Malphite has picked Kleptomancy in the bot lane as a support yet again. What? What?
It's alright.
Look, she has some autos. There's a difference. This game she can go in and auto. So
we'll move on.
Fair enough.
We'll rebuild.
Okay, calm down. Kleptomancy is not the end of the world. It's great. I'm glad to see it.
Alright, so pausing at 10 seconds.
We're just gonna be pausing 10 seconds in. It's already loaded up. Let's pause at 20 seconds instead.
20 seconds?
Yep.
Very well.
My one just seemed to load ahead.
Yes, mine has yet to fully load in just yet.
Yeah, so just let me know when you're on 20 seconds. In the meantime, we're just gonna go back to the game. No more loading screen for the viewers at home. You guys get to see our beautiful overlay and some of the champions just running up. So we're just paused on 20 seconds right now just to get synced up. Dylan, you on 20 seconds yet?
No, it appears my client has crashed.
Yeah, you have a trash client, dude. Get out of here. Get a new computer. Throw that out.
Oh, this is my personal computer. I built it.
Well, too bad. I'm on a laptop and I'm not crashing. And I'm streaming. So you should be disappointed in your build.
I am. Don't you worry. Yeah, I am reconnecting as we speak.
Yeah, well, I'm having a lovely time looking at 3 champions right now. You can't see it, but I'm just looking at Jinx, Morgana, and Diana running up. They're all in this beautiful bluish-purple combo, and they're ready for a night on the town. Just 3 girls hanging out. I'm out of it. I'm just telling my own storylines.
Okay, so I have come back in, but unfortunately I'm only able to start from 1 minute.
As I can. Well, I guess in the meantime you can pause on 1 minute. I'll let you know when I'm leading up to 1 minute, so I'll go 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, and just unpause there. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna watch people load in, and I'll cast until we get to that 1 minute point. So are you perfectly on 1 minute? So 60 seconds exactly? All right. So right now we're just seeing the 2 teams run up to bush. Backdoor boys taking control of that bottom lane brush, taking away that ward. Diana taking the first CS of the game. Obviously, Backdoor boys with that little 15 gold advantage will win the game. I think that's enough to win it. That's a gold lead. Everyone, yeah, so everyone right now going back to their respective buffs. I'm on 56 seconds, 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay, we should be in time with each other yet again. Yep, we're good. Oh, I've already skipped ahead. So I'm on 110 now. Yep.
Yep, I'm at 110 as well.
Alright, on 3. 1, 2, 3. We good?
Yep.
Awesome. So now we should be looking at the same thing yet again. So we have Backdoor Boys just at their blue buff and Salty Ninjas at their red buff, both opting for the standard bottom lane, bottom jungle start.
Yes, and Nasus with heal and he's got that's why he has taken heal to avoid any potential early ganking from the Diana or early burst from the I completely forgot his name.
Udyr?
Udyr. Yes, that's it. I was thinking of Olaf for some reason.
Yeah.
Who has taken coin for some unspoken reason.
Is that even viable? Time out. Like
I would not consider it viable.
They're
taking a lot of damage though from the Braum passive as Jinx wails on them. Rek'Sai is there and coming in for the gank. I believe Morgana does not have Dark Binding just yet, but she's going to be able to get away by landing. Oh, she does have Dark Binding. She doesn't have Black Shield. That is correct. Leona E goes wide. Volkshians, I believe, is mighty disappointed in that performance thus far.
Yeah, on the topic of Nasus and the spellbook before, I just gotta give him a bit of a prop to just doing that. He may not need the heal, but if he does, he has it, and if he doesn't use it, he can go back, switch teleport, and everything is fine and dandy. So I love the fact that he's taken spellbook. I'm a bit interested in the how do you say that? Dematerializer.
Dematerializer.
Yeah. I'm quite interested in how he's going to use that. I believe it just deletes a minion and you get the CS for it. Is that how it works? Or?
Yes, but it also makes it so that in any way, shape, or form that you deal damage to that particular minion, hold that thought for a second. As Diana is coming in, the Rek'Sai forced to flash away. The Nasus is also forced to flash and pop the heal to keep the Rek'Sai alive, and another fight breaking down in the bottom lane. Leona taking a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Oh, Rek'Sai actually picked up by the Morgana with Ignite with the Diana to assist. Whole heap of stuff going on all over the map at once. But yes, back on topic. Actually Zoe in the mid lane able to land a sleep, followed by the Paddle Star. Gets hit by the Dark Binding, but I don't think they're going to be able to follow up, as flashes have been used by all of them except for the Zoe, who had to use it to get
Beautiful
away there.
dodge. And now we're back to bot lane. Bot lane's fighting now.
We're back to bot lane with exhaust popped onto the Xayah to secure the disengage for the Jinx.
Yeah, a lot of action. A lot.
Back onto the dematerializers. So, dematerializers, what they do is if you depending on what type of minion you use them on, you then increase all the damage you deal to that minion by a percentage.
Okay.
So effectively, you would use it on Nasus. You would use it on a minion to make it easier to farm Qs on them.
All right, that's interesting.
Similar concept with Veigar, with farming his Q on minion.
Yeah, I guess it's the best thing he could get on the line. He wouldn't get too much out of the biscuit, and I don't know what the third thing in that line.
The Brom, able to dive over the flame jumps.
Dylan, do you know the third thing on that line at all?
The line?
Yeah, the second line of inspiration. The one with the. Oh, we're seeing a gank bot lane.
We are seeing Diana in the bot lane, not ultimate available, misses the E. Braum with no mana to Q. Tries to walk up an auto attack. Rek'Sai is there, catching Volkshians out. Volkshians is going to fall to the Leona, not intended to take that kill, I believe. And Diana and Jinx are going to be able to get away. Resolve, the second line.
Yeah, what does that do? I've no recollection of what it does at all, especially after that switch, because Boots used to be on second line, but they did a bit of a switcheroo.
I believe the second line is Futures Market.
That's it. Yeah, Futures Market, yes. And you also have, I mentioned before, you have the Biscuit. So Futures Market, Biscuit, and Dematerializer. I guess Dematerializer is the best thing on the line for Nasus. So, yeah, I guess he knows his Nasus well.
Also, I believe it is not the resolve tree. It is the
inspiration.
Inspiration. That's right.
Yeah.
We have some much-needed vision coming out from the Braum to help secure against ganks coming from the river, and as you can see, Ujir, I almost said Olaf, is having a very tough time in the top lane against his Nasus.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you well, it's not coin anymore. It's I don't know what it's called. It's a tag. It's what is it called?
It is called Ancient Coin.
Ancient Coin?
Yes,
it doesn't look like a coin. It does not look like a coin.
It is an ancient coin, and Nasus is going to reclaim that ancient coin, as it is from Shuriman legend, as you would know if you read the lore. And Nasus is going to be able to pick up a solo kill for himself in the top lane, as Rek'Sai and Zoe are going to be able to pick up the kill on the Morgana in the mid lane, and Braum and Jinx, followed up by the Diana, going to potentially pick up the Leona, although Jinx peeled off to take on the Xayah. Not going to be able to follow up on that. They're looking to tower dive onto the Leona. Might not be able to get it. They just get the kill with the splash damage from the rockets. Diana just hit level 6, so I think they're looking to tower dive this.
Yeah, but look at Zoe. Zoe's slowly coming down bottom lane.
Zoe is slowly starting to creep. Could potentially get a long-range sniper shot with the Paddle Star.
Yeah, we may see a big fight.
Trouble Bubble.
Yeah, we may see a big fight bot lane if they continue to follow up, but no, everyone just disengages.
Trouble lands onto the Braum. Damage follow up. Almost bursts down the Braum. Diana ults onto the Zoe, who is not staying there very long, as it was part of her ultimate, and she teleported back to where she originally was, on the other side of the wall. Rek'Sai picking up the red buff. Looks like they're all moving towards to try and contest.
That's
Diana.
A really, really long bubble.
It absolutely is. And Rek'Sai spots out the Diana with the Tremor Sense. And Udyr trying to fight the Nasus, who is just outright going to beat him. I don't know why he's trying to look for trades when the Nasus, who has ultimate available, could turn on him.
I guess he's just got his first real item this game, and he's just ready to go.
He does have Tiamat and Boots, which would be a relative power spike for him, but not enough against the Nasus, who clearly has a lane advantage and will have heal up momentarily. Rek'Sai coming back into the mid lane. Black Shield will stop the knock up coming from the Rek'Sai, but ultimate from the Rek'Sai comes through. Flashes out just to make sure they're out of turret range, so the Morgana isn't able to pick up a kill. And Udyr and Nasus still going at it, but both sides not really wanting to pursue a further conflict.
Yeah, it's quite interesting right now in the top lane. Both of the top laners are taking fairly even trades in these exchanges, but the difference is Udyr requires so much more mana to trade evenly in these fights. He needs to EWQ at least like once in the whole fight just to keep up in the trade, whereas Nasus can just slap his Q and that's enough. And as we can see, Udyr has been constantly low on mana and being forced to go back because an Udyr without any mana is almost a Master Yi. I guess that's a really weird analogy, but you just auto attack. That's it.
Can't go into alpha. That is the difference, I'd say.
Yeah.
He doesn't scale that well with the critical strikes. He does pick up a Sapphire Crystal though, likely going to go into a Sheen with a Trinity Force. However, Nasus pops the ultimate and is backing away from the Udyr he'd otherwise beat.
Yeah, we're on the bot lane right now though.
In the bot lane, Leona landing good stuns onto the Jinx. Has to flash away. Doesn't have heal up just yet. Is going to be forced to back away. Seems like the bot lane is going in the favor of the salty ninjas, or is it salty assassins?
Salty ninjas.
Yes. I mean, assassins are ninjas in their own respective nature.
Not in the League of Legends lore.
Perhaps not. As we do have the salty ninjas moving around the bot side, getting good vision on the dragon in case the Diana tries to start it up on their own. And a good chunk of health coming out on the Udyr from the Nasus Q. He's not going to be able to fight the Nasus like that much longer, as he will slowly start to outscale. That is something that I quite enjoy about Nasus in particular. How he's able to infinitely scale throughout the game. So no matter what, if the game goes on long enough, the Nasus will win.
Yeah, unless there's enough CC or Rammus or
Damage coming out from the Zoe, just barely hits it. Almost missed that paddle star, and the CC lockdown is going to be able to take out the. As Diana flashes forward, trying to get an ultimate off.
Yeah, but they're flanking. Zoe. The bot lane is flanking and looking to
The bot lane is flanking, but
catch?
It is a 4 versus 3. And if
Leona's
Leona
right behind them.
The Xayah, it's going to be a 4 versus 2, which I don't think they want. Diana is coming around behind the tower. Sleepy Bubble Trouble lands. That's going to be a lot of damage coming out. Leona whiffs the ultimate. Goes all the way onto the back line where the Morgana is. And Zoe's going to be able to pick up a solo kill onto the Diana. Ultimate comes out, almost connects. Actually, it did connect. It connected onto the Leona, who body blocked it for the Zoe, who otherwise would have died.
Wow.
And Udyr in the top wave trying to push his wave, but Nasus just casts the Wither and is trying to force him out of his lane.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that Xayah decided to opt to go bot instead of following up on the Leona. I really think that could have
caught out here in the red side jungle. Smites it, but has to tunnel under the wall. He's going to be able to get out.
Yeah.
Nasus and Udia trading once again. Misses the Q.
As I was saying before, I just think it's really interesting that Xayah decided to go and farm bot rather than pick up potentially 3 or 4 kills in the mid lane. With a lot of CC being burnt, and they were quite low, overextending, so that would have been a good chance to push the game in their favor.
Absolutely, and now you can see the Nasus reaching his potential. Dasheen, he might be going with the Frozen Gauntlet, which I would not advise for.
Yeah,
There's a lot of AP damage coming from the Backdoor boys.
So what would you suggest in this state? Oh, we're gonna see Nasus Pimp Cane Udia yet again, the second time this game.
As Diana makes her way up, potentially trying to get a pickup kill. I would suggest regular Trinity followed by Mercury Trap to negate all that heavy CC that the Backdoor has on the side of Morgana.
I'm not sure Diana can win this. Oh, she might.
Diana might be able to win this if she's able to get her ultimate off with the correct burst damage.
There's enough.
Up in 2 seconds.
Yep.
Not enough time.
Yeah, there's just lifesteal.
Corrupting potion ticking on the Nasus, as well as the stopwatch.
And we just see Jinx throw out her ultimate towards the Nasus, but nowhere near him at all. That's a big scary Nasus right now. That's a 3-0 Nasus.
The Zoe to try and land the ultimate. Zoe was able to get out of the Morgana ultimate, but Morgana, knowing where the Zoe was going to pop up, throws the Q out and it connects with her face, resulting in death.
That's generally what happens when a AP Morgana throws a Q at you. You just die. You accept the slow and somewhat awkward death. We see Diana walking towards bottom lane right now, looking to maybe catch or just take scuttle.
Yes, and back on to the topic we were on. Ooh,
oh, and it's stolen.
Steal and an emote coming out from the Roar Rek'Sai as he stole the scuttle with his underground seeker. Leona trying to go in on the Braum, not going to have much success there. Diana is spotted out by several the red side blue jungle.
Udia stealing the blue buff of the enemy team.
Just going to go up to pass it to the Nasus, I'd imagine. As he is currently 2 levels behind the Nasus now.
Yeah,
he does have ultimate up available
quite
again.
Devastating. I kind of wanted to see Udia do a bit more this game against Nasus, but I guess Nasus is just kind of steamrolling. That Q stacking ability is just done. It's just overpowered anything Nasus can do. Nasus is just doing his tiny little kitty
Diana
slaps.
Going in on the Xayah. Stun comes out and followed by the root. Xayah flashes out of range, but Jinx, with the fleet footwork, might be able to catch up enough to deal enough damage. Diana dives in with the ultimate. Leona follows up out from under the tower. That might result in her death if the Braum continues to tank, which I think he will. A bit of a misclick there from the Jinx, hitting the tower instead of the Leona, as another fight brews in the top lane as Nasus wants to secure this tower before the bot lane does, so they get first tower gold, which unfortunately already fell in the mid lane. As Rek'Sai was also able to pick up the Rift Herald, who is now coming topside to potentially drop it there, unless the Nasus backs off, in which case that would be ill-advised. However, as you can see, Udia's build, it's all over the place. He's got the Tiamat, he's got the Sheen, and now he's got the Warden's Mail. I'm
kind of confused. He's not really building anything. He's building a bit of everything, as you've said before, and it's just kind of... It's gonna fall flat. It's not very effective right now.
He hasn't even finished his support item.
I honestly don't know what he's doing with that. There's nothing in my head that can reason with buying that support item in the top lane.
Coin, you may as well go the extra and get the next, because then it gives you 40 free gold, and I believe it's 8% missing mana, over than 25 gold and 6 missing mana. Looks like they're trying to get the Infernal Drake. Zoe, first to run away. Ignite's not going to tick enough to kill her as the Morgana and the Diana secure the kill on the Rek'Sai, but Nasus is there to slap Diana with the cane. Flashes over the Dragon Wall with the follow-up from the rest of the team.
Oh,
Leona
what a beautiful
whips
escape. Oh, not yet.
as Nasus changes targets to the Udyr, drawing aggro like a raid boss. As Udyr proceeds to run away towards his own towers.
Meanwhile, in top,
secures the Infernal Drake. Diana coming in from behind. They might be able to pick up the kill on the Nasus here if he's not too, if he's a bit careless, which it turns out he is, and they're going to be able to pick up a kill.
yeah,
And the flare coming out from the Udyr. Don't get too excited there, Udyr.
so that there's just a little bit of difference that you see when you opt for the Frozen Gauntlet instead of the Triforce. You just don't deal enough damage to scare anyone. Not yet, at least. Not until your things are stacked more. Oh my god!
And the spicy Jinx ult coming from the top lane smacks into the Zoe, taking her out as Rift Herald is dropped. Just dropped in the mid lane to secure the turret. As
Yes.
the red team also was able to get both the top turret and the inner top turret.
Yeah, that was great from Backdoor Boys. Just while all that chaos was happening around the dragon, they just decided, let's take 2 towers. No one's gonna bother us. We're just gonna do our thing in the top lane and, I guess, get gold for our team. So props to them for identifying that and, I guess, swinging gold in their favor. So
Oh, absolutely. And you can see some itemization coming out from the Morgana, picking Banshee Gale first, just to try and severely negate that Zoe potential burst. As a lot of damage is coming out from the Morgana and the Braum, as they try to CC
Oh
block
my
the
god.
Zoe, they're able to finish her off eventually with a flash Q from Morgana, and
He escapes.
Diana and Xayah just trying to
Oh,
defend what
Nasus
they can
right
off the
behind
lane.
him. He
Nasus is there to finish off the Braum, who's going to try and block the smacks from his cane.
unfortunately
going to
he
add
blast
6 to his
coned
collection.
the wrong way. Not having vision there costed him his life, unfortunately.
Yes. And Udyr trying to split push quite heavily in the top lane, gets landed on by the Leona, stuns. Is getting stun locked under the tower, gets exhausted as well, and gets stunned while still under tower range. That's some good chain CC coming out from the Leona. As they continue to land just chain after chain of abilities. While the red team pushes in the mid lane.
Oh my
Was
god.
it Benny Hill theme when we need it?
He had the potential to escape, which was the interesting thing there.
He did, and he drew enough attention that the rest of his team was able to secure the mid lane turret.
Yeah, despite Salty Ninja's early lead, they're now 3k behind Backdoor Boys. Yet again, it's been
Udyr has been
amazing.
able to finish his first item, Frozen Heart.
Yeah, I mean, who needs health when you got lots of armor? I guess. Don't worry about Zoe, just build more armor.
Oh, just built more armor.
Yeah, you don't need health, you don't need MR, just more armor.
And it looks like there might be some sort of collapse going on here, but Sleepy Bubble Trouble does land on the Diana. Braum, as you mentioned in the Champions, like doing what he was supposed to do and blocking that Paddle Star as it came in.
Yeah,
Could have potentially been lethal for the Diana, who has no resistances whatsoever.
so just looking at the gold on individual champions this game, most of the gold lead accumulated in this game for the side of Salty Ninjas was on the Nasus. He's just 1k ahead of Udyr, but the rest of his team is falling a little behind. If you look at the mid lane, Morgana has 2.5k gold ahead of Zoe. And in the bot lane, it's 800 gold. So Morgana just doing so much for his team, being 5-1-0. It's been amazing to see how well Morgana has been playing, picking up a number of solo kills and taking up kills whilst team fights are happening. She's just been slowly picking up 3
Diana
gold
going
on the side.
Nasus is going to be forced to back away as the Jinx and the Diana try to give chase, but Wither proves too much. While the Udyr is trying to get some sort of split push going in the top lane, is going to get met by the Rek'Sai. And just somewhat of a skirmish going on in the mid lane as they trade back and forth up the lane. Diana coming in as binding lands onto the Xayah. That's probably going to pick up as if the Diana is able to get on top of it. But the Leona doing what she can to try and crowd control is not going to be enough as the Diana follows back up with the ultimate, killing the Xayah. And that's going to be the Leona going down as well to the Morgana. As Jinx tries to solo defend against a Nasus who pops his ultimate and tries to tower dive. Jinx forced to flash over the wall for her own survival.
This could be a Baron?
Lands a juicy amount of damage onto the Udyr who has no magic resist.
This is looking like it's going to be a
Diana
Baron.
and Braum go for Baron.
Not the most
Blue team is
common...
not going to be able to contest, but I don't think they have enough DPS without the Jinx.
No, they do. Morgana's quite strong. There's enough damage on
But
there,
if Nasus
despite
roams
being...
down, this could potentially be very bad for them.
I think Nasus is fully focused on his cane stacking, so this should
yeah,
be a Baron,
what am I
despite
saying?
it
Of
being...
course.
Despite this being a very slow and awkward Baron take.
Oh.
They're just leaving! Go back to her! What are you guys doing? Oh my god.
Close.
That was
That
close.
was very close. That could have gone very wrong very quickly. And we have a Sky Dragon coming up now. Blue team might move to secure that, as pushing could be rather difficult against empowered minions. Looks like Rek'Sai is moving back to go and secure that. As there's a bit of a witch hunt going on in the top lane for the Nasus.
I'm not sure that's the
Finding the
best
lands
thing
of
to
the
do with the Baron buff, but if you want to chase an
Udyr's
Nasus,
actually moving
by
to
all
secure the
means.
dragon. He might get collapsed on by the rest of the salty ninjas if he's not careful. Looks like he was just able to maneuver out of sight.
I think he's looking to try and steal that dragon back.
The rest of the backdoor
Nope.
boys are converging on their position. Diana throws out the Q, misses.
It's gonna be a
Super
4v5
lands on
right now.
Diana, but the Udyr goes in and is able to swarm the Zoe and the Xayah as more fights goes on in the top lane. Oh, sorry, in the top part of the jungle, with the Diana able to fight off the Rek'Sai and the Jinx taking down the Leona. And that's a full wipe, or nearly a full wipe, sorry. The Nasus is still up, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold, so it may as well have been a full wipe.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tower and an inhibitor at the very least. They may look to get a one bottom lane tower again. Not much Nasus can do with his E against empowered minions, and that 5-man gank squad right there.
And looks like they're going to rotate down and take this bottom turret. They might even try and push for the next inhib, as they are clearing the wave just ahead. They do have a siege minion and plenty of casters, but whether or not they've got the artillery to back that up. doesn't
Yeah,
look like
they're
it, as
they're gonna go
backing off.
back and take that safe option with some of their mana down and health being a little bit low. They might as well regen, reset, and go back to a lane with the minions all ready to go just one more time.
They were, however, able to pick up that mid inhib, which is ideally the most vital one, as it is the shortest lane, so the super minions have the shortest amount of time to travel from base to base.
Yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of the middle inhibitor. I generally like to take either the top or bottom one first to do that really optimal 4-1 split. It's always down to preference, but I find that whenever you do take middle lane inhibitor first, teams are able to clear it quite easily. It just seems like free CS going their way. Rather than in a side lane, that's when there's a lot of pressure, and if you go to the opposite side of map, you just draw pressure that side whilst lane pushes in. So that's why I'm a big fan of side lane inhibs rather than mid lane inhibs.
Yes, you make a very compelling argument. However, as the lanes stand and as the map stands at the moment, there are no objectives on the map, so there is no nothing to really go back and contest while the salty ninjas defend against the super minions.
Yeah, and we see
They're almost
Morgana a
reaching
little
the
caught
base
out
as
right now.
Morgana gets focused down by the Nasus. Q lands, it's going to take her out. Diana almost getting focused down as well. She's going to be able to defend herself. But now the Rek'Sai's on top of her with the Zoe, able to land the Paddle Star through the wall with the help of the ultimate. And it looks like the Salty Ninjas are going to be able to fend off this incoming assault. But the Zoe getting picked off by the Jinx potentially. The red buff damage coming through is not going to be enough. As she gets away with just a sliver of health. Braum and Udyr, however, focusing down the bot turret as there's no one there to defend it, as they're busy defending the super minions in the mid lane. Jinx finally made her rotation around as they're going to try and pick up this inhib as well. However, Zoe is back on full health. They might be able to defend this and force them off. Jinx wanting to back off, but the Braum wants us to stay as the Leona gets back with the Nasus and the Rek'Sai. They're forced to back off, and the inhib is saved. While Udyr puts some more pressure in the top lane, but it's going to be all for naught as to greet him.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that we couldn't see Nasus do a little more this game, despite having that that very big early game advantage.
He has now picked up Sterak's Gauge.
Yeah, I guess he's tanky and has a little.
Binding lands on the Xayah, and Diana is there to follow suit, and that is an easy pickup.
That's
for
gonna
the
hurt.
Backdoor boys.
That really has to hurt.
Absolutely, as the rest of the Backdoor boys make their way into the mid lane, potentially try and force the inhib take down on the bot side, as Jinx also makes their way. Udyr trying to back. He does have teleport available, so he will be able to join them if they start a fight. Diana, though, able to pick off the Zoe one-on-one, mano-a-mano. There's the flare. I mean, it's not so much a display of skill on the Diana's part, it's just a misplay on the Zoe's part, I feel, with that situation. Wither comes out onto the Braum as the Backdoor boys are sort of forced to back away. Diana bursts down the Rek'Sai though, and the Jinx is able to suppress the Leona. Nasus picks himself up a kill on the Morgana and the Diana, while Xayah is there to try and lend support, but it's not going to be enough as the Jinx is able to follow up and get the kills. And they're on the Nexus turrets. That's more than likely going to be game and match, because this is 2-0 for the Backdoor boys.
And that's GG. That was
I have to say, that game was
yeah.
The salty ninjas, I felt, fell off that game.
Yeah, they put up a really good fight in the early game. They showed a lot of their strength, but when it came down to it, Backdoor boys had a plan, and they're an extremely resilient and coordinated unit. Once they had a little bit to take, once they had a little bit of an advantage, they just kept pushing it. They knew where to take fights. They just said, Udyr, stay in top lane. We're gonna abandon you. You're on an island. You can go die, and we'll make everything else happen. And it was just one of those games where Udyr did not need to do much, because they had every other part of the map ready and sorted.
Yes, and well, because of that, Salty Ninjas are now, eliminated. And the Backdoor boys can proceed onwards to the finals to face the winners of the, I believe it is the Silver Scrapes and the Yakult.
Silver Scrapes and Yakult. So they will be facing the winner of that, and the loser of that match will be going to the third place game against Salty Ninjas. Yeah, so that's all for tonight. Thank you to the viewers at home for staying with us so long and enjoying this very, very interesting and diverse series.
And I'd like to give a thank you to you, Eric, and to Dana for giving me the join you here.
Yeah, shout outs to everyone. Anyone else you want to shout out while we're here?
My granddad George, he's a good guy. Can't really think of anyone else actually.
All right, if you got Granddad George, then I got Grandma Rosinia, thanks to you for dealing with my crap, I guess. Quite literally, let's not get there. That's game over. That's 2-0 for Backdoor Boys. GG, and that's all for tonight. Thank you, and we're out.